guys, welcome back to Better Life Reviews, or if you're new, welcome to the channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to do a setup of the Star Shower Motion laser light. What I mean by that is we're going to run some electricity from here around to the front and kind of do a waterproof exterior setup, but we're going to shoot all the footage on the GoPro Hero 6 Black, which you're currently seeing, and I'm also doing a review on. So currently we're seeing the GoPro Hero 6 Black at 4K, 24 frames a second, wide view, and we are using stabilization, although not currently because it's on a tripod. And I'm just using the standard built-in microphone, so it's not going to sound nearly as good either, but we're going to see what kind of audio you can get out of this. Currently we're shooting at about 5 feet. So dual purpose, we're checking out the GoPro Hero 6 footage, and we're seeing how to set up this light, or anything else you might want to do. So this is currently the box that I have. I'm going to run this electrical cable around to the front of my house, which is roughly 80 to 100 feet. So a couple things we need for that. I picked up from Amazon. This would be the Woods 6 outlet stake. This allows us to put a stake in there, hook up a photocell and timer through this, and run a couple additional electrical cords if you need to do that. Also got this 80-foot power cord, which I'm going to need to run around to the front. It's outdoor rated. And I got this box, which allows me to put this box on top of here, so we can plug in the electrical cord and use this box while the electrical cord's plugged in. Now, I'm not an electrician, I'm not offering any kind of electrical advice, so please make sure you shut off breakers and any kind of power guidelines you need to do before you do anything of this nature. You definitely don't want to get shocked or hurt in any way. However, I'm just showing the setup to you guys right now as to how you might do this. So make sure to check out these products below. Check out the review of this light, which I'll link up in the cards and also down below in the description if you want to get a little bit better idea of this light in particular or some other recommendations. And I have a text review of this written as well as other products linked up at betterlifereviews.com. So let's get into it. This has a part that pops off here. And then this is going to sit in like that. And then we're going to be able to put the cover on top and keep everything secure. Right. Then we're just going to unscrew these screws to take the top of the box off. So then they're saying to back out the receptacle screws and to slide the box onto the front of this like that. They're showing this part on the left here, so we're just going to back out these screws a little bit. It says do not remove these screws, just back them out a little bit. Alright, so what you could do if you have a standard like round type of outlet like this is snap this adapter in here. However, I do not have an outlet like that. I have this GFCI, I believe it is, external rated outlet. Alright, so my situation, I had to remove these two screws. Now we're just going to put this box on correctly, position the screws in the right place, and screw it down. Okay, and that was kind of hard actually, but it did snap on there. And now this is going to close here, and you'll have a latch here and also a way around the front if you would like to lock it and kind of open and close it here. Now it's kind of mounted in several different ways, so there's also things that mount here as well. And then you have different parts that you can kind of clip out depending upon what you want to run the cord through. Alright, and then you can snap out on the side here if you want, or you snap at the bottom. So for me, I'm going to snap at the bottom one. I want to run the cord down to the bottom. So there's this piece right here. It's a little hard to snap out there. And that piece will pull right out. And then we can run the cord down through there. Alright, so we're going to take our 80-foot power cord and plug it in. And run it through the bottom. Now this thing kind of sticks out here, so we'll wrap it around a little bit. Just tuck that up in there, and then we'll snap that down, and then the cord will run at the bottom, and we're good to go. It's nice and secure there, and everything's pretty water sealed. You can see here also then that there is a gasket right there, and that gasket is going to help seal the water from getting into that outlet. So now we're going to take our Woods power stick out here. This part out. Stick. Another part of the stick right there. directions, of course. Alright, so there's where the stake will screw in. So you can either just attach it and then push a stake into the ground, or if you want to be more careful, you can go ahead and connect these two. Put the stake where you want it. Give a little tap with a rubber mallet. Carefully. And then just take your end of your power stake and stick it onto there. Screw it around. It's nice and tight. Alright, then we'll undo this one. And we're going to run this cable here to the end of our power cable. There. Attach those two. And then here's the other cable that I have. Now I don't have a link for this exact cable in the description because I bought it from somewhere else. However, I'm going to look at something very similar to this. And what this does is it allows you to have different outlets along it. We can plug in different devices along this power cable, which is pretty helpful. So we'll just plug this into this ground stake. Let's get the bottom one. There we go. All right, so now our ground stake's in, our power cord's connected from the house. We have a second power cord going to where the lights are gonna go. And let's get the lights set up. All right, sorry it's like super loud out here, but we're gonna get these lights set up. One light shining into the house, one light shining into this tree right here. All right, so very simply, either put the stake in with the rubber mallet if you want, or you can just screw it on. About 30 feet from my house. Good spot. Push it down in. Power cord, attach it. We'll take this second light, screw that in. You can adjust these by this screw right here. You want to pull that out, just like up and down, however you need it. Screw that in, put it in the ground. And then we're going to use this kind of inline power cable. Attach it right there. And that's it. And then we'll push right for green, left for red and green, and back for motion. However, in this daylight, the light sensor is not going to allow the light to turn on. So let's wait until dark time to see how it looks. All right, so quick summary walkthrough. We're filming on the GoPro Hero 6 at 4K, 24 frames a second and wide. Here's the first shower light, about 30 feet from my house, shining there. You can shine another one in the house if you want, but I think one's gonna be plenty for the average house. There's a second one, shining up at the tree. You have to adjust that a little bit. You get this secondary power cord running here. That's running to this wood's ground stake. Then we got that running the whole way back to the house. 80 feet of cable. And that just runs here to this box where we open it up and everything is fully waterproofed. Now the light itself, these lights have the ability to turn on at dusk or nighttime and turn on at dawn or daytime. So they kind of do that in and of themselves. But if you want to control that a little bit more, what you can do, or if you want to have several lights hooked to one thing, what you can do is get a timer like this, and this will allow you to then have the lights turn on at dusk and then go for 2 hours and turn off 4 hours, 6 hours, or 8 hours after the time of getting dark until they turn off. This gives you a little more control if you don't want the lights being on all night, but you want them to turn on when it gets dark, and you don't want to have to go outside and turn them off again later on. Kind of gives you some cool control for that as well. There's also just a typical dusk to dawn setting on this as well, and then off and then on, so it gives you a lot of options of what you can do. And you have those 6 outlets. So you can see this runs over to the first light here, and this light is shining on the house. And then we have it plugged into that kind of thing I was telling you about, where you get some plugs along the line. That line then runs up here to a second light. Sorry, it's a little bright there. You can see how it looks. And that light is then shining onto the tree. All right. So we're getting a pretty good show here. So it looks a little bit more light in my house. And I think it looks great actually. So this is the red and green setting. Let's switch over to some other settings and see how they look as well. So if you push this button on the back, that's a little swirl on it. That's the motion button. And that's going to turn the motion either on or off. So the motion was on, and now the motion is off. So you can see now that it's just red and green. Now it looks kind of like it's moving because the leaves are moving, which is kind of cool actually. Gives it more of like a 3D kind of effect. However, you can see on my house there that the motion has stopped. Now I could actually get a wider beam by far, but the problem is I'm gonna run into my neighbors' houses if I do that. So I had to kind of put them pretty close to my house in order to be able to shine it on my house perfectly, but not get it shining on their houses as well. So this is just the green still, you might say, on the house. And this is the green still on the tree. You can see it goes pretty far up there into this tree's probably a good 100 feet tall or so. And it reaches to the top of the tree, which is pretty cool. And it could go even further really. All right, so then here we finally have green motion. It's kind of a close-up look. Go back a little bit here. And that's how my house looks, the green motion. And this is how the tree looks. Kind of let it sit there. Now this GoPro Hero 6 action camera does have another setting you can use, which allows auto low light. However, what it says is that it changes the frame rate to allow for better low light performance. So he said that it only allows you to do that in 60 or 120 frames. I believe it says you can't do it in 24, 25, 30 frames a second or any of those kind of those lower frame rates. So basically what that sounds like to me is it's going to do is it's going to lower the frame rate automatically to compensate and allow you to get better low light performance. But then it's kind of defeating the point of having that high frame rate. So I didn't do that. This is basically how it looks at 4K, 24 frames a second, and wide view at nighttime. All right, guys, so now you're looking at the Panasonic G85. Now, if you're into cameras, this will interest you. If not, you probably care less. But this is a 4K mirrorless camera, meaning it's kind of like that bigger body style DSLR, just not a DSLR, a mirrorless camera. But anyway, that being said, it's going to have a little bit better performance in low light. Not as good as some cameras, but a decent, performance. And you're also listening to the Rode VideoMicro hooked straight into the camera, which is going to have, obviously better sound. Being, the camera is not fully waterproof. It is weather sealed with all the stuff closed. But it's just meant for a different purpose. So anyway, this is what it looks like with the Panasonic G85. You can get a better idea kind of how things look at my house with the setup. This is the tree. Now in my viewfinder it looks better. However, actually it's kind of harder to separate, the background and that kind of stuff. Being basically that's drawing in less ambient light, but that it's kind of highlighting the actual light from the star shower better. So this is red and green motion clearly. And the tree. This is red and green, no motion. And the tree. And this is green, no motion. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better. There we go. Zoom back out. And up against the tree. Alright, now I'm also shooting all these things on intelligent auto setting for the camera. And I'm also using autofocus, so kind of just letting everything be auto rather than trying to adjust things very carefully at nighttime. Alright guys, I hope that was helpful and informative. Now as you can see, the setup probably takes 20 to 30 minutes for the average person not taping it. It's pretty easy, allows you to run some lights to a further distance. I have all these products linked below, as well as betterlightreviews.com to make it super simple for you guys to get whatever you need. We also saw some pretty cool footage of the GoPro Hero 6 and how you might use it in your everyday life, as well as a little bit of stabilization and that kind of stuff. So thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.